Yes. Oh, let's go! Woo. Yeah. Imitated, but duplicated. That bull with no head, that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! The Raider Bear. No, boycott it. A Raider! Assaltante, Oso That Bear. Say it again. I'm not gonna say it back. That's not what I'm saying. Assaltante. 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 Oso That Bear. What's up, fam? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. R8RBEAR Live, your host, the R8RBEAR. And I'm very creative, huh? R8RBEAR Live. You gotta kind of do that. It's just good marketing, you know. You get, if it's somewhat repetitive, people remember you. You know what I'm saying? So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you tuning in. Tradish! Let me go back to my comments here. Oh, things are about as usual. Gold medalist, number one, the best, numero uno el jefe, the champ. YouTube, Mark Vargas. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there, winning with a R8RBEAR and R8RBEAR Live. What's up, brother? Second place, my silver medal goes to Ramiro Cashflow, trademark Castro. Trademark pending. Okay, we just have to flog his brother first. Third place, my bronze medal goes to John the Lion. Leon, always catching L's, but never taking losses. It's all about the legacy. John the Lion, Leon. Honorable mention goes to Hove. To S.A. Big Dog. I called him Big D again yesterday. Only his wife should call him that. Facebook, yet again, 1 and 2, one of the best rivalries I have ever had on my show in 10 years of competition. This is one of the best battles for the gold and the silver, back and forth, back and forth. No, gold, 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 silver, 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 silver. It's always the same. Carlos. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there, winning golds with a R8RBEAR. Appreciate you, my Facebook champion. Second place, you all know who it is. That silver, sultry, sounding son of a gun, Lucky Hayes.
Move over.
Whoa. Yeah, it's getting so bossy in here. My wife wants to hear. Oh, it's my daughter that's even worse sometimes. All right, okay.
Go around the twist.
All right. Come on. You can do this.
Okay, where'd you want it?
Like I'm reaching like right there.
Like this?
Yeah, a little higher. A little higher. Keep going. You see, I want this down here, not the bell. There you go. Right there. You're amazing. We're going to do this live.
Do you have like a pen?
What up, Doe? I like that.
That should be okay.
Yeah, no, just measure it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just eyeballing it. Third place, my bronze medal goes to my new bodyguard, who renegotiated his contract to make things a little bit easier on my staff. Joe Holman! I have a guy with a vending machine. He drops me off stuff, and I would have had to cancel him if I, paid Joe that extra 10%, but he took it easy on me. Honorable mention to Pete Vasquez and Mark Alvarez, Kevin Kahuhanohano, Chris Strong, and Jim Garrison. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Ellis Irving, I see you there. Oh, there's Peggy. Here, in case you haven't noticed, I'm the talkative one of the two of us. I don't make much out of the preseason, but it does look like the Steelers' offensive line will be better than last year. I still hate that we have Airhead Rodgers, though. There's going to be a lot more than that to hate. A lot more than that. What'd you say?
I gotta get a different one because I can't pierce the wall.
That's right. Make it happen. Mark Vargas, everybody's doing great. I appreciate you. Friday show. Let's go. Bear, any chance you will get over to Phoenix Saturday? No, probably not. I was trying to make it to Cactus Jack's, but I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that. Armando, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. Shane Street, that's my guy right there. My paisan, Shane Street. Corinna Trujillo, my benefactor, reminds me to remind all of you to please subscribe to R8R Bear Live. There's a multitude of ways to do it, but first let's start with the easiest one, YouTube. If you enjoy the show, if you want to make me earn it, if you enjoy the show, please like and subscribe R8R Bear Family Page on YouTube. On Facebook, it's a $5 subscription with R8R Bear Family Page on Facebook. I always explain it, though. There's a very valid reason for it. We pay for charities all over the world. We work with wild animals, all sorts of stuff. We've had a tiger, an owl, an elephant, a goat, a monkey. We've been doing a lot of different stuff and just paying for their feeding and their lodging and stuff like that. And then we sent a bunch of kids in Africa to school, and we're still going to do that again this year. Now we're working with homeless problems here in Arizona. And so we really appreciate you and welcome you all again to the show. And then last but not least, if you want to make a donation and you want to skip Facebook or YouTube altogether, I am on Patreon now. So just look for R8R Bear Family Page on Patreon or R8R Bear Patreon. R8RBEAR, just like I spell it, R8R Bear. Like the license plate, or Corinna did it, so I'll show you. There you go. Thank you, Corinna, as always. Just reading everyone here real quick. Oh, goodness. You're in the hospital, honey? I'm sorry. Here I'm playing around, talking about you, not realizing that. I'm sorry. Chris Strong, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you saying hi. She was putting my bell in on the wall, and I guess the screw wasn't long enough, so she was going to get another. Here she goes. Abrielle, Chris Strong said hello.
Hi. I don't know who that is.
Well, you're not supposed to know who he is. He's R8R Nation. They all know you, though. So he's saying hello.
Sounds like a cool guy, though.
He does sound like a cool guy, doesn't he? He is. I can tell you he's watched a lot of my show. He makes good comments, and he seems like a nice dude. Joe. It's Facebook, man. I don't control the queue, I swear. If you're going to break anyone, it can't be me. I look forward to your show like I look forward to payday. Michael A. Charlin, man, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. That's a fantastic. That's probably the best compliment I've gotten all week, and I've gotten some good ones this week. Ramiro Castro, look at you. Corinna Trujillo, prayers from Ramiro Castro and Chris Strong and Carlos Boykins. Much love, guys. I really appreciate the love because you guys know how special Corinna is here. She's been with me for years. Mark Vargas said, hello, little cub.
Hello.
He knows what's up. When is the supporter show coming back? Bob Stannard, I would give you a long explanation for it, but I'll just tell you that it's coming back next week. Mark Vargas, I appreciate the love, brother. Okay, so getting into stuff that's going on. You're starting to hear about the 53-man cut projections and possibilities, and now you're hearing more and more that Zamir White may be holding on to the job. I still will believe it when I see it. You know what I mean? He's the least versatile running back that we have. It's not a shot at him. It doesn't mean he's not a good running back. It doesn't mean if we send him somewhere else, he won't be great somewhere else. It just means he is the least versatile of the guys we have. And he's not making that much money. I mean, I know he was a draft pick, but he's not making that much money. I think we need to move on from Zamir White. I like the kid. I think he's tough. And everyone that I talk to about, they go, what? No. And you know why you do that? As Raider fans, you know why you do that? 2 reasons. One, we fall in love with our players. We all do. I know I do. And second, and more importantly, you protect him because he's a Raider and you see his potential. And guys, I see his potential too, but that's all we keep seeing is what might be. And I'm tired of might be and waiting on that. We don't have to wait on might be anymore. We have Pete Carroll and a new staff and a new emotion. Now, we may have the same stupid owner. Oh!
Be careful with those.
Well, don't leave it loose. Get it in there.
The nail's not perfect. I couldn't find a better nail than this one.
No, that's good. Don't go too hard, though, because then you'll strip it. Okay, it's stripped if it's still spinning. That's okay. That's okay. You got it up. That's what I wanted. I can just go like this.
I could probably get a hammer. Get a hammer to help it?
Maybe. But let's do that after the show. Close enough.
It still works, though.
Yes, it was done with little cub power, so I love it. Yes, Mark Vargas. Tuesday is cut day, and I'm starting to think that he's going to be on that list. What do you think about the rumors about Anthony Richardson? I think they're sad, John. I really do. I think there's a chance we could take him on as a 3rd or 4th string quarterback. What's going on now? There's a lot of character assassination going on right now with AOC, and I'm not saying it's not deserved. It's not that, always played so great we should be, taking it easy on him. I don't see it that way at all. But what I do see is myself going OCD on this stupid thing on my hat. Sorry. Okay, so I see Aiden O'Connell, how should I say this, getting frustrated because Pete Carroll and the roster and the coaching staff are kind of exposing him because this is a man sport, and we should not coddle these players. They're men. If they can hack it, good. If they can't, get better. If you can't, get out. You know what I mean? It's by trade or cut or whatever, it's just out. And I have a bad feeling that AOC's on the way out the door. I'm surprised it's taken as long as it has. I think the staff might just be trying to, at the very minimum, take him into the season as the number 3 because it would be so hard to get another good, competent 3 that then knows their offense. At least he knows the offense. You know what I mean? And we would only get to him if there was an emergency of losing 2 quarterbacks. If Gino went down and Cam went down. Eric Bell said Beck's been unimpressive in the preseason. Eric, you're a real Raider fan. I can just say this to you. I don't have to explain it. You know how it is. We'll get a guy sometimes. I mean, look at Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer coming out of college looked like an absolute monster, a killer, okay? The best. He came out of college with that combat catch title that I tell you guys about a lot, and he just hasn't done anything to this point. And what are we in year 3 with him? 2 or 3? And he's done nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, a catch here and a catch there. I mean, you know what I'm saying. He's done nothing. Compared to the hype of him coming in, he's done nothing. And so I think Beck needs to be given a little bit of a breather. I just think he's the kind of guy that came into the league. He's got all the tools, so he thought it was going to be easy. And now that he's here, those things he didn't learn in college about recognition of routes and how your route is being read by the defensive back, the linebacker, or the safety, or all 3, and they're making you run right into a web and you don't realize it. And you have to sight adjust your route and get out of there. And you have to do it all in the span of about 5 seconds from when you hear the set hike and then you start moving your feet. You've got 5 seconds to make a move, take off, see the defense, read it, and then adjust if you need to, or remain in the route because it looks like they didn't read it correctly. And the defensive back is turning his back to you and going upfield. The linebacker's going too shallow. And you just look at the quarterback and say, hey, I'm right here. So he's got to learn that. And that's, even with me breaking it down that fast, it's so hard to learn because you're getting different looks thrown at you over and over again. And by the way, our Raiders coaching staff is doing that to him intentionally because we have to see where is his learning curve. Does he already know this? Because let's remember, Brock Bowers came into the league with it. Brock Bowers, this is part of why Brock Bowers is so special because he came, landed right on the ground and went, sight adjust? Oh, yeah. If I'm running a 7 and I need to turn that into a hook, no problem. If I'm running a 7 and I need to turn that into an inside route, I'll do that. If I need to go this and do a stop and go and take it deep because I can see the defense is letting me have one-on-one against a little shrimp safety, I'm going to tear that up. Rhymes with nugga trucka. That mother, shut your mouth. I mean, and Brock Bowers is just wearing the league out. I think a big reason why our offense still isn't going to struggle, regardless of what we've seen so far, is going to be Brock Bowers. 100%. He's going to make it easier on Ashton Genty. He's going to move defenses. It's just a fact. He's too good, guys. We see, I like to say that I'm the type of talent scout reporter that can see what I'm about to explain to you. There are times when a guy is coming up and that guy is going to be a legend. He's going to win games. He's going to be a stud. He's going to do amazing things, probably a Super Bowl, probably a Hall of Fame, one or both. This is going to happen to this guy. Okay. I kind of pride myself on seeing young guys in this generation and the last, because I go back to the 80s, but I've learned how to look at a guy and go, that guy's ascending. We don't know what we're seeing here. That guy is going to be the best for a long time. And I the other night I made a video about Canelo Alvarez against Terrence Crawford. I think that's such a mismatch. I can't even explain it. And I tried. But I think Terrence Crawford is going to beat the living hell out of Canelo Alvarez. I don't think it's going to even be close. I think Canelo's going to land some shots and his fans are going to cheer. But it's not. We just don't know what we're seeing in Terrence Crawford, man. We don't know what we're seeing. He's got 9 belts. Okay. And Canelo's got 3 from his weight class, 3 or 4. So if he beats Canelo, that's 12, 13 belts he'll have legitimately without loss against multiple champions that had multiple belts. And he just beats him over and over and over again. Steven! No, that almost worked. Hang on. I got to learn how to do it. I can't tell if it wants slack or if it wants me to hold it right up at the neck. Or it just, maybe it sucks. I can't get it to ring very loud. Appreciate the love on the stars, brother. I'm hoping that Mayer is used more by Chip. Well, Eric Bell, that's going to depend on him. Because if he doesn't start getting his own sight adjustments down, he's not going to see the ball. And that's been part of the problem with Eric Turner, Jack Besh, and some of these underlings, Tommy Mellett, that aren't understanding why when you line up, you don't get to just run a route and beat a guy. Sometimes they're guessing on something or they see a formation we're running and they think, you know what, this is going to be an L route, just run a defense and two gap zone and pick him up with the safety in the, linebacker or corner underneath and just gap him.
Still standing?
Asylum 77 said, what do you think is going to happen with your boy, Dylan Laube? I got to be honest with you. I would be willing to bet someone's going to lose their job so that Dylan Laube stays on the roster. Because I'm sorry, guys. Pete Carroll, to me, he is just one of those dudes that he sees it. He sees it, like what I was talking about a minute ago. He sees it. He knows that Dylan Laube is touchdowns. He knows Dylan Laube is yards. He knows Dylan Laube is success. He just has to get Dylan Laube on the roster, acclimated, offensive line, get everything set, make all the pieces fall in place. And if you give that kid blocks and you hit him with the ball and let him get his sight line together and start moving, I'm telling you guys, just go back on YouTube and look at Dylan Laube highlights from when he was in college. And I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind. The way he would go left, right, and you could just see him seeing the guys coming at him, and he would almost run them in the direction of his blockers and then come back, and was making the blocks easier on his blockers by running, but running just under full speed to allow for him to not pass his offensive lineman. A block would set, and then he'd blur right by it. He's so good at that, and I can't wait to see it for us. That first comment screwed up because I got you up on the TV too, and I'm dictating. So I picked up what you were saying. I see you taught your daughter a little bit about tools. Good job, bro bear. No, you don't understand. She also knows a little bit about a whole lot of other things. She can fight a little bit. She can cook a lot. Religious and sweet as can be. And I can tell you she just got the compliment of compliments yesterday from multiple people at her job who just kept coming to her and going, you know what? You're so nice. You're just always happy. You know what I mean? How do you do that? And I was like, you got to raise them good. You know what I mean? When you reach this level, a player has to be able to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Michael Charland, I completely agree, but he has to know it. In other words, the NCAAs, I've been trying to expose them for years for what they are. They're a farm system for the NFL. But they don't season that food as they're sending it up. They just send it up bland and hope that the coaching staff at the next level can get something along the line of an NFL pro player. And most of the time, it doesn't work. You know, we have Tyree Wilson right now for the last couple years just struggling, trying to find a role on our defense, trying to find a way to bring his talent out to the forefront and make plays for us. And it's because he's having to learn things at this level. And, you know, I go all the way back to Tim Tebow, RG3. Not that was that long ago. I mean, I'm just saying verbally, I'm going back to that era saying those guys are the quintessential, big words on the bear. They are the quintessential demonstration, display of what I'm trying to say. Should have been a rapper. But the NFL sent Tim Tebow and RG3 up to the league running shotgun offenses, not knowing how to take it from the center, not knowing how to call protection, not knowing how to read defensive switches and what to switch on offense to counter that, and so on and so on. So Anthony Richardson's got no shot. I don't care if he's 6'4", 244 pounds, unless he wants to come over here and play wide receiver or maybe some linebacker at 6'4", 244. I'd put him at linebacker before I'd put him at quarterback, trying to learn something. And even there, he'd suck. No, Mark Vargas, Tommy Mellott cannot play quarterback, and it goes beyond his size. You've heard reports that, they won't play Tommy Mellott at quarterback because he's small. They won't play Tommy Mellott at quarterback because he's small. That's not the problem. If you go back and you look at Tommy Mellott tape when he was in college, his offense was slow, and he was slow. Now, I don't mean physically like he can't run fast. I just mean reading progressions, running outside of the pocket, even though there was no pressure, still wanting to read, look around. You know, he's like using 12-second, 15-second drops before he's throwing the ball. Where in the NFL, you're lucky to get 3 to 7 seconds to throw the ball. So Tommy Mellott is not a quarterback. People need to stop saying that just because he played quarterback at a low-level school with zero impact, playing against a bunch of guys named Joe Blow, who are all now plumbers, cops, and people who work at Home Depot and Walmart as greeters. Putting foots in them. I like Tommy Mellott. I'm just kidding. I was kind of hoping for him, but you know how it is. I never think that a conversion guy like that works. And when it does, we all get excited and we look at a guy and say, wow, can you believe he switched from wide receiver to quarterback? You remember the guy that was with the Titans, that's with the Titans now. But he was with the Dolphins and he was a wide receiver and they turned him into a quarterback. And I like remembered going on my show and like hilariously laughing because I just thought that was so ridiculous. Like, what do you think the guy's going to do? I mean, he's a wide receiver. You're trying to turn him into a quarterback at the NFL level, probably the hardest position without question in the NFL. And you want to put a wide receiver back there. Good luck with that. And then that son of a weirdo ended up winning. That damn hybrid stud turned into a decent quarterback over time. Tom, all I can tell you what's going on with Trey Hendrickson is that he has brought up the Raiders. So when a player that's in a possible trade scenario and he knows maybe his own team is looking maybe to move him because of financial issues, that's kind of his way in the press of saying, I'm okay if you make that deal. You know what I mean? Because some of these high-powered guys, they can control a deal like that. Now, some of you say, well, wait a minute, R8RBEAR. If they have total control of his contract, how can he control where he goes? Simple. He can let the team that they're talking to know that I won't be happy there. So, for example, let's say the Bengals were talking to the Cardinals, and he says to the Cardinals, hey, I don't want to go there. Well, he's now suddenly going to tell the Cincinnati Bengals, well, we don't want the guy now. He let us know he's not going to be happy in Arizona. And that's it. You know what I mean? That's all it takes. You know what I mean? And players didn't used to do that, but now they do it because they know there's so much money on the line. And that guy can go there and just sandbag it and not try hard. Remember, that sounds something like what Randy Moss did to the Raiders. I didn't really want to be there, so I played like it. I didn't really like the situation. I was unhappy about my staff, blah, 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 blah. Bear, your A's are playing good. That must just be tonight. I know you don't mean like regularly because they just, every time I turn on my phone, they're losing to somebody. And usually it's in the most heartbreaking way. 4-3, 5-2. It's like, oh, they'll get better. And I don't care. I don't care. I'm not a wins and losses fan. If I'm a fan of something, I'm a fan of them, period. And if they go to last place, I'm their fan, you know? So I don't care. The A's are my team. They always will be. I'm an athletics fan. With the moves that Laube has, do you think they should or will use him for returns too? It's a fine line you balance between his ability in that situation and his value lost if you get him hurt. And so to me, with us being so thin already at wide receiver and the fact that he has the hands coming out of the backfield or lining up in the 3 or 4 position on wide receiver, he can run a slant and give you a catch and give you 7-10 yards, maybe break something. So I don't like that. Field position is very important. But to me, you just find someone on your roster that's a wide receiver or a running back that has good sight lines, and then just let them get back to the 25 or 35 as best they can. Unless you really have someone that's unique at that sort of thing that you found in college, you shouldn't even try because you're just going to get a guy hurt. Because even if he goes out there and he does it well in camp and you go, wow, maybe he can do it. It'll be that 3rd or 4th day where he'll make a mistake and not see something from lack of experience and then get his bell rung, couldn't resist, so to speak, and, you know, he'll be gone. No thanks. Dylan Laube has a chance to make the roster, Bear. Mark Vargas, he has more than a chance. I'm saying it. I said it before we picked him up. I scouted him and talked about him on this show before we even signed him. We signed him, and I about lost my mind. I was so excited and happy. And now I'm seeing a coach that finally understands what he is. And so we're going to get to use the weapon that he can become. And I'm super excited about that. Tyree never should have been picked at 7 in the first place. Okay, Matt, it was a bad pick. It was a bad pick. I can't disagree with you in any way. It was a bad pick. Now, this is me giving the an opposite side argument, devil's advocate, so to speak, without saying you're wrong. Here it is. Tyree never should have been picked number 7 in the first place. I agree, but he still can develop and be as valuable as a first-round pick from here on out to the end of his career if he can reimagine himself in the interior at defensive tackle and become a power, a force there. Because we know the guy's massive. We know the guy's incredibly strong. He's just not fluid. So what if you put him in front of guards and centers, which is what we're doing now, and just say Hulk smash? Just go out there and bull rush him over and over. I'm telling you right now, if they let me be a psych coach for Tyree Wilson, he will be better. And I would tell him, brother, look, I don't want fancy. I don't want swim moves. I don't want you doing switches. I don't want delays. I don't want sudden. You know what I want? I want smash. I want you to go into them like they're a 7 drill dummy and then drive them into the quarterback and into the ground. And if they stop you, do it again. And if they stop you, do it again. Keep testing that fence. And sooner or later, your strength and your power and your commitment will wear them down. And then do it again. And then do it again. It's all I want from you. Get in his chest and push him back. Make him not want to feel it anymore. I like boxers, and when I used to work with boxers, and I used to box a little bit myself. I'm not trying to brag, I was good, but I used to tell them, I don't want fancy. I don't care if you can throw 10 punches in 3 seconds. I want you to throw 5 real well and not one of them miss. I want body shots. I want hooks to the body. I want jabs to the body, and then I want a sudden shot right at the nose, and I want you to aim for his chest, so if he dodges, you hit him anyway. Then when it gets late, you can start targeting him and pot-shotting him and throwing these 10-shot showboats of yours. But for now, beat him down and then walk him dry. I'm going to use quintessential Scrabble. No, that's way more than 30 points. Are you kidding me? Get some 3-inch drywall screws, Bear. I have them. She's just grabbing the wrong stuff. Bear, I'm going to be a grandpa in September, and you can bet your ass he's going to be a Raider fan. I'm Raiders! It's because we know you're going to raise them up right, Michael. That's awesome, man. Does Alex Kappa make the team as right guard backup? I'm starting to not think so, and I think that's as a benefit because I'm sure you probably saw the reports. There have been reports out. It's not it's not a breaking story that Alex Kappa might lose his position on the 53-man cut, but I think that that's more or less because they brought him in. They wanted him for depth. We realized that some of the other kids we already had there were already playing pretty well, and that depth didn't look like it was going to be as big an issue. So with that being said, if he gets cut, it's because he got outplayed probably by Thayer Mumford and DJ Glaze, who are both kind of trying to battle back and forth for that right tackle position. Who ends up getting it between them or whoever else on the roster might be fighting it for it, I don't know. But Laki Tassi is already starting to show himself as a potential, like a really good player. Because when he hits blocks, guys don't move. They do not get past him. And when he gets to the second level, we get big plays every time. I mean, there's already tape on it from 2 preseason games. There are times where his own offensive linemen have to shove him in the back as a way of saying, I got this block, go get the next level. And he goes, oh, okay. And because he's still learning. He's never played football before. This is his first year in his entire life. And he was like, okay. And then still was athletically fast enough and smart enough to get his head around, find his guy, run over to him real quick and put his arms and his chest into him. And then Ashton Genty made a cut move and got like 5 or 7 more yards. And so it's gonna be tough, man. Dylan Parham and, Jackson Powers Johnson. And, you got these guys, man. And I think there's a real good chance, guys, the Bears are sandbagging a little bit. And for those of you who may not know what that means, it just means basically they're going, oh, my arm hurts. Oh, this boxing match, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to hit him full force. And they're lying completely. And my arm feels fine. And I'm going to come into this match and knock the hell out of you. And that's what this feels like. Oh, we're not sure about our offensive line. And, the depth in the backfield. I mean, we're so concerned about that depth in the backfield. even though Caillou Blue is playing incredible, knocking down balls and running with guys all over the field. And Dekamarion Richardson looks incredible and might actually steal the number 2 position. You know, Eric Stokes, we brought in from Green Bay, already starting to look like a hard hammering cover guy. I mean, we've got Jeremy Chin getting 2 interceptions in 2 playoff games, but who's counting it? Polamau playing, better than he ever has in his life, knocking guys around, making diving interceptions in the air and coming down with the ball. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. Oh, that preseason game against the Niners, they threw the ball all over us. We looked so bad. Mixing, matching our defense and moving in and out different safeties and different corners and switching them on different sides of the field. But, the Niners, their passing attack was just too much for us. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not buying. I just want you to all remember I said this before we go out there and we look incredible right from day one. Okay? And we win our first 3 or 4 games right off the rip. And most of it's going to be defense running the ball and Geno being great. You watch. It's coming. He played quarterback in college because converting him in college from and wide receiver. Yeah. The A's sweep the Twins, Bear. I'm also Oakland Athletics fan. Mark Vargas, I remember you told me that once. And yes, they swept the Twins, but I mean, it's the Twins. They're not really, I don't know the Twins are really competitive right now, are they? He just wants me to say it. We beat the Chiefs! Yes, we did, Stephen Shaw. Oh, I like that new profile picture. If you ever have a make a fan head coach day, you got my vote, Bear. I appreciate that, brother. I do, because honestly, I that's why I believe in Pete Carroll so much. He's one of the few coaches that when I see him do things, I say to myself, not only is that what I would do, but as an owner, I would hire him and get out of the way. I really would. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but what have you heard about Mark Davis lately other than his house? They did another documentary recently on his massive mansion, and it is nice. It's kind of weird looking to me. It's like too futuristic looking. You know what I mean? It looks like what Elon Musk's, cyber house would look like, cyber mansion would look like. But outside of that, what news have you been hearing about Mark Davis? Nothing. Nada. No input, no complaints, no even coming out and saying, oh, I'm so happy with what they've been doing. No. Now, not that he hasn't done that. He has, but it's been on the low with reporters, and that's all they got, and he walks away. It's very quiet, and so that doesn't really get reported. But see, that's good. You see what I mean? He's staying out of the way. One of the things my dad used to do that used to drive me crazy, and he would hire like a plumber, and then he would damn near stand on the guy's lap, watching every move he makes. And I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? Hey, I got to make sure I'm getting my money's worth, and he's doing what he's supposed to do. Well, Dad, how can he make his money if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do? You're not going to pay him. Excuse me, I caught a little bit of a cold yesterday. I'm still kind of fighting it. What's up, Aaron? I'm watching the Chiefs lose in the final seconds. Nice. No, Kappa needs to go. Well, if nothing else, I like what Kappa brought to us. And as Raider fans, we should both know what he did, respect it, appreciate it, and applaud him out the door. Because, see, Alex Kappa listened to his old GM and his old quarterback with the Buccaneers that are with us now, and they said, come on over. We want to give you a job. We think you could be great with our line and maybe help our young guys, blah, blah, blah. So he says, sure. He comes over, and then sure enough, when Jackson Powers Johnson was having trouble at center, Alex Kappa tapped him and just basically said, 53's the mic, blah, 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 called on 3. And was just basically, it was like having a tutor while you were taking tests, because, the staff of the Raiders, the coaching staff, is looking at Jackson Powers Johnson and saying, look, man, we don't want to embarrass you, but you're not our pick. You know what I mean? So we don't care where you were drafted. We don't care that all the hype came in with you being possibly one of the best linemen we've ever drafted. And it's not looking that way. If it's not, you got to fix that as a player. That's what Pete Carroll says to guys. And I love that. He tells everyone, I'm giving everyone a fair shot. So if you're the first string player here and this guy down here, way down here at 7th, he's going to get a shot at your job. Trust me. He may not get it, but he's going to get a shot. You know what I mean? And if he goes up there and he gives me something, I'm going to keep him around and use him or give him your job. Peggy is forcing me to agree that one of our kids will be raised a Raider fan and one will be raised a Steeler fan. Even though I already got both of them Raider onesies, the debate will be which is which. How do we say this? I would say to you the best way to go about it would be to sit the kids down with them, have them watch highlights of the old teams back in the day. Okay. Terry Bradshaw, Kenny Stabler, you know, the old days, and let them see that and let them decide what they really like. You know what I mean? Honestly, I'm Mr. Fair guy. I do it fair. I would put them in like 2 different rooms and play one in one room and one in the other. And then when they're done, make them switch and then watch them both and then have them come out and say, you know, what do you think? What was your favorite? Who did you like? No disrespect to Big Al. I love the guy. But the one thing that irked me about him was he would get in the coach's way sometimes. Sometimes. You know, honestly, when Al had gotten too old and we all saw him, you know, falling apart, by that time, though, he had pretty much every job in the NFL there is to have. He was a GM. He was a commissioner of the league. He became an owner. He was a head coach. You know what I mean? He did it all. You know what I mean? And so he understood all the ins and outs of football so well that it was just hard for him to step back and go, oh, you know what you're doing. I don't need to work on you or tell you what to do or watch you and make sure you know it. You know it. It's just, I feel like I know everything. And you might know this little thing, but maybe I can help you a little bit. And it's hard not to do that when you're older. He did that a lot. What do you think about our running back depth? Salute from Fresno 559, Juan Cortez. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Our running back depth. Well, I like Raheem Mostert a little bit more than I like Zamir White. I think Raheem Mostert's a little bit more proven. I realize he's older, but he also isn't coming off of Achilles surgeries on both legs, which Zamir is. Goes back a year or two ago, but regardless, I don't like guys coming in rehabilitating against injuries that used to end guys' careers in the 90s. You know what I mean? And whereas Raheem Mostert just gets banged up here and there and he comes back and he gives you a lot. He can block, he can catch, he can run, he can see the sight lines. You know what I mean? I like him. He brings an impact to the game that's similar to Genty's with more experience and less banger, a little bit more find the hole, get to the corner, that kind of thing. Find the edge. I got a jersey today of Genty. Nice, Stephen A. Shaw. Stephen A. Stephen Shaw. Nicely done. Way to go, R8RBEAR. Steven and Mrs. Shaw. I gave up on the bell. Yeah, that was a little better. Maybe I should just grab it and hit one way instead of trying. I was trying to go like left and right. You know what I mean? Like the San Clemenza bell. But okay, there we go. That works. Mark Vargas says we are sandbagging. I think that's part of Pete Carroll's strategy. I think that he wants to see what these guys have more than he wants to win a preseason game. And most intelligent coaches do note that. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be ironing out who is what and what is what. Look. See, I figured it out. I just had to figure it out. And since I'm doing it that way, it won't mess with that moving around. Okay. Get it?
We'll fix it after.
And no, you're perfect. Stop it. You did a great job.
See, this is how you tell the difference.
Yeah, I love the perp.
Me and Mama Bear.
Right? Mama Bear got that red. Baby Bear got that perp.
Yeah, the perp bear. Perp cub.
Okay, so moving forward, I don't have any more extra questions on there. We're coming up toward the ends of the show, so I'll just go into some stuff that I thought was interesting. Tyree Wilson, who is playing much better, just isn't playing at defensive end. They have an idea of just making him an impact player on the inside. I know I kind of went off on him a minute ago, but I want to say this in a good way. I think that if he does that, if he just gets in the middle and beats it up and keeps, making a name for himself in the middle, get sacked, pressure, stop the run, but do it from the middle. If he does that for us, it'll be massive because the impact he'll have on the running game as far as the opponent, the impact he'll have on Max Crosby as far as drawing attention off of him, allowing him to do his thing more, which we need from anywhere we can get it from. You know what I mean? Because we have not addressed the edge. If we get Trey Hendrickson, like I talked about, we will have addressed the edge, and we will now be officially, seriously Super Bowl contender potential. Because remember, if let's say we move some defensive players, or we have to cut some guys, whatever the case may be, or we can't get a shutdown corner now to help on the opposite side because we get Trey Hendrickson, I don't care. I don't care. I would ask any one of you to tell me what team is going into the NFL absolutely perfect. I want you to tell me which team is going to start the season with absolutely every hole on their roster filled. That doesn't exist. There is no, even teams that win the Super Bowl do not have every hole plugged, do not have every position decided. Okay. They usually have to make adjustments. And see, to me, even if you put Caillou Blue to Kimarion over on that right side with Eric Stokes at the 1, if you get pressure in the middle, they will get interceptions. They will get deflections. Deflections are just as important as sacks because you're stopping the play, you're stopping the clock. They gain nothing. You get a breather. You get the ball back potentially with the clock not running. I love deflections in football. Get deflections because you get pressure and the ball comes out sooner than the wide receiver is finishing their route. It's simple football. It's simple football. Your defensive line must beat their offensive line, period. If it doesn't, I don't care what defense you have. We could have every position filled and you will lose. Because if their offense is allowed to just move the ball and we have to keep trying to make adjustments to them, which you're already losing when you adjust to your opponent. I don't care if you're playing checkers or chess against someone. Never try to play differently because you're losing to someone else. If you start adjusting how you want to play to try to beat them, that's fine. I understand strategy. But don't do it because you're affected by them, because they've made you go, oh, geez, maybe I shouldn't do this because they might do that. Or, oh, geez, I shouldn't do this because they might do that. No. Even when I play people I know I might lose something to, I don't play scared. I attack. Always. You know what I mean? And if that doesn't work, I do it again. And I come with a different strategy, but I attack. I never sit back and wait and look and, oh, what are they doing? Oh, okay, maybe I'll do this. Okay, and what's he going to do with that? No, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this on my next turn. See what you can do with that, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Steven! Oh, and Mrs. Shaw. Yeah, I appreciate the love, brother. Let's see. We got you, Corinna. We got you. I've heard you say you have a son too, so I'm sure you'll understand this. Part of me wants my son William to be a Raider fan, but I have heard that there is a real special bond between daddy and daughter. So I'm thinking I would want Catherine to be a real fan if I could only use one. Well, no, Peggy, Peggy, I consider you a friend now, okay? I want to be clear. I'm only making a suggestion. If that's what you want to do first, that sounds beautiful. It really is. You got to the Bears' heart for a moment there, you damn dirty Steeler fan. I can't believe you did that. But I completely get that. I completely get that. Make that about your bond time with her. And when their games are on, she'll want to sit with you and watch those games in her little jersey. I love it. I love it. Make it the Hatfields and the McCoys in the house between the husband, the kids, everybody. I love it. Whoops. Oh, my alarm for earlier. I honestly, I had to go back and forth with my dad for years because my dad was a flip-flopper. He was a Raider fan for the longest time. And then the Raiders started losing. And then the Niners picked it up through the Niners, through the 90s. And then he started rooting for the Niners. And I was like, hey. And then later on, after Joe Montana left, he came back to the Raiders. So it was just a little window But yeah, he did do that. Corinna Trujillo! Appreciate the love on the stars. She's doing this for me while she's not feeling well in the hospital, people. Okay? Love you, girl. Let's see. How did Brady lose to the Giants twice in the Super Bowl? Pressure. Exactly. Juan Cortez. Exactly. And every time Tom has ever lost decisively, it's because he had guys in his face. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, you can say that about any quarterback. So let's do it. You know what I mean? Any quarterback, you get right into his toes and you give him pressure. Hey, man. Tim, you got into my heart, Tim. Okay. No gay stuff. I love you, brother. But yeah, you got into my heart. That was good. That was beautiful. You guys should split the kids, make them 2 fans. I love it. I think that's beautiful. Tim, come on. Let's make it more awkward. Come on. Hug it out. Come on. Get in here. Come on. Hey, whoa, no sword play. Just trying to give you a hug. Come on now. Knock that off. Corinna Trujillo. Okay, Corinna, you're making the nursing staff watch this, aren't you? I could feel you right now saying, you guys got to see this guy. He's a friend of mine. I'm just going to guess. Hi, nursing staff. Hi, ladies. If you got a guy, what's up, man? Hey, listen, if you're like a younger male nurse and you know, if you're muscled up underneath, you know, got some abs, you know, maybe let Corinna take a look, you know, cheer her up a little bit. You know what I mean? I'll slide you a 20 when I come visit. Good night, Bear. Good night to you, brother. Much love. Mahomes lost both Super Bowls by getting pressured as hard as, yeah. And I got to say, Juan, it goes all the way back. Al Davis said it a million times. He's got to go down. He's got to go down hard. When has that changed? And that's what I love about NFL football. You know what I mean? You may change a couple of rules here and there. You may tweak a couple of things, but the quarterback must go down. And he must go down hard. And that has not changed. And there, you know, the hard part has, you know, the referees will start penalizing if you really nail them and everything. But you can still hit a quarterback. You just can't land on them. You can still get right into them and drill them. You just can't drive them into the ground. You know, there's little, you know, things that they hold these guys to. And I know they always say, how am I supposed to stop and make a decision on how to hit a guy in a split second? And all of that's true, but it doesn't matter. You're going to have to figure it out. You know what I mean? It's no different than a car accident. How many of you guys have been driving around and someone slams on their brakes and you're about to have a car accident? But because you were quick, you looked at your mirrors real quick, you saw there was no one there, you yanked over real hard and flew right by the guy. No accident, no damage, just a scare, right? I mean, most drivers have had that happen at least once in their life. You know what I mean? And I just think that that's something they're going to have to do. You're going to have to go in there, hit Mahomes. And then when you really have him and you know he's going down to the ground, let him go. Put your hands down so you land in sort of the push-up position on top of him, but not on top of him. You know what I mean? And then no flags and you get your sack. I remember the year the Patriots went undefeated all but the Super Bowl, and they were smashing people up into about week 12 when they played the Eagles, and then they showed the league how to play Brady. They had no damn respect for his arm at all, came right at him and put him on his early and often. Yeah, you know, Joe, that's just never going to change. I mean, I know you're agreeing with me, but it's never going to change. What happened to the defensive tackle we traded for from the Eagles? Haven't heard anything. Well, Juan, you're going to love this. The Eagles were pissed that they lost him. It was all over their fans and message boards. I read it myself. Their coaching staff was pissed that they lost him. They went to the GMs and went, well, how is this few amount of bucks some reason why you didn't pay this guy? And then he ends up with us. And I mean, right when he got there, Pete Carroll went, has anyone noticed that this guy's already learning our defense? I mean, holy. I mean, he looks great. Him and Adam Butler are going to shut it down. Tyree Wilson may end up on the bench. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get minutes. They're going to mix him in and out, but he's not going to be a starter. You know what I mean? Because even if we go to a 4-down lineman, you're looking at Crosby, Butler, then Booker, and Kuntz. You know what I mean? So he may not see the field a lot. Steven and Mrs. Shaw. Appreciate the love on the stars, brother. And Steven and Corinna, don't think I forgot about you. I know I have stuff I still have to send you guys, and I love you so much for being so patient with me. My nurse from this morning is a Raider fan. And she did this Raiders sister props. Once I got the green light for food and water, she brought me a sandwich, a 6-pack of Sprite, and a 6-pack of applesauce. Aw. Well, Corinna, come on. You know you're sweet. You're so sweet. You know what I mean? I could see the nursing staff going, you just stay right there. I'm going to go get you a couple 6-packs. Yeah, Steven, I don't know if Tyree Wilson needs to go just yet. I do think we can revamp him at defensive tackle. Now, if we were only looking at him as a defensive end, I would agree with you. I'd say that's it. I've seen enough. But with the fact that they're giving him a go at defensive tackle, it could be a help for us. He could even become a starter, or at very minimum, very good depth for us there. Rick Samarano and Island Jen. Hi, guys. Much love. One last question, my bear. What do you feel about our cornerback 2, Kelly? Juan, Kelly is nice. He's making nice plays in practice. He does not look intimidated. In the preseason, he's been running around looking active. I like the guy. I like him a lot. Pete Carroll likes him a lot. And remember, it's been in every report leading up to these preseason games. Pete Carroll does not mind playing young guys because he feels like if I get them out there young and they make mistakes, I can say, no, do this and this. And then they get it. And then they don't make that mistake anymore. Then they make a new one. And he says, no, don't do that. When this happens, you do this. And then they learn. And then they get better. And now they start to become shut down. And now our defense is improving. See, he wants to do that. He doesn't mind growing through their learning curve because he feels like his ability to work with and coach the defensive backfield and the linebackers and the defensive line as one cohesive unit, thinking alike. That is what Pete Carroll does really well. And when he gets them working on the signals and the situation is right, I really do think he can do it. Kelly came from Seattle. Well, there's going to be more because there's also another safety that Seattle has that I know they're in negotiations with, and the safety's not happy. And he already looked at into the camera during one of his interviews this year and went, hey, Pete, meaning come get me. You know what I mean? He's going to leave Seattle. He's going to come to Vegas. We're going to be even better next year. So everything you're seeing right now is a lead up to what we're going to be even better next year. Whatever we see this season, no matter how good it is, short of a Super Bowl, next year, we will be better. I have a feeling we're going to win somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 11 games this year. Then next year, we're going to be thinking about 12 to 13. Because after we do our roster picks and our trades, we're going to look so solid. I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about the future with us. Hello. Each one's going to get louder, Corinna. So each time you do that, I'm going to get a little longer and a little louder for you. I agree. No quarterback likes to get hit, but you got quarterbacks like Brett Favre who getting hit doesn't seem to bother them. And then he got quarterbacks like Brady or Peyton Manning when was with the Colts who really get shook up. The only guy in the league I see that's like that right now is the kid with the Ravens, Josh Allen with the Bills, Hurst with the Eagles. You can bang those guys and they're going to get up and go, all right, and they're going to come get you. And we have to admit, Mahomes is that way, unless you stay consistent. If you consistently get pressure on Mahomes, he'll break. He breaks. We've broken it in his stadium. But if you just knock him down and then he gets 12 plays, and then you just knock him down and then he gets 12 plays, somewhere in those 12 plays, you know, back-to-back different drives, he's going to put points on the board. You got to keep putting him on the ground, or you got to keep getting your hands and your pressure in his face. Red and Island, Jed Saburano. Two of the nicest people I know. I ended up spending the night with them at an Airbnb, and they were just so nice to me. They knew I was coming in, so he really looked out for me. A lot of me and my friends argue due to the fact that I say that Pete wants long, tall corners. That's why the trade of Bennett, we just need a safety that can go sideline to sideline. Juan, exactly. Your acumen in football is incredibly high, I could tell. Your comments have been spot on tonight, and I completely agree. And he's going to keep running guys out there that at minimum are 6 foot, 6'3", 6'5". He likes tall corners because he wants them to be able to play the ball high on wide receivers, but also have the size to come up and rip running backs. He doesn't like small corners at all, and I completely agree with that. I never understood why we had this theme that smaller defensive backs were better against wide receivers because they had jitter quick speed. Well, so what? They can just jump over those little guys, though. And then the whole league became 6'5", 6'6" wide receivers going, hold on, little buddy. You hold on to my belt line while I go up here and catch this ball. You know what I mean? Steven and Mrs. Shaw. Appreciate the love on the stars, guys. Whoa. Just knocking stuff over here. Try to do stuff without knocking stuff over. You know, my gear and my stuff here. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, much love. Remember to consider subscription for R8RBEAR family page and enjoy the show. Find me on Patreon, R8RBEAR family page, and R8RBEAR. Love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Drink safely. Corinna, I love you, girl. Get better now. Love you, girl. Get better now, Corinna. Hey, nursing staff, take care of our veterans. Your nickname. All right, that's my show. Much love. I love you all. I'll see you.